are back with you from our Auckland Park News studios here in Johannesburg, and you're watching Prime News on S3. Tonight, the following stories dominate the headlines.
I've been advised to also place on record that I'm a suspect in case involving the EMPD, and I therefore do not wish to answer any question.
Testimony by Vusimuzi Kat Matlala continued at the Madlanga Commission after his legal team paused an application on his right against self-incrimination. Police Minister Senzo Mchunu has denied allegations that place him at the centre of an alleged plot to throw the KZN top cop Madlanga Commission under the bus over police shootings in KwaZulu-Natal. And coach Rassie Erasmus says that while the Springboks have their backs against the wall, they have been in similar situations and now they need to fight their way out of it. Good evening, it's great to be with you again. Please stick around for the next 30 minutes as we show you a selection of the day's main events and look ahead to tomorrow's weather. I'm Gustav Freiling and I'm joined tonight by our sign language interpreter, Fortune Madlala. We start with the top story. Alleged cartel member Vusimuzi Kat Matlala's testimony continued at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry after his legal team paused his application on his right against self-incrimination. Matlala nonetheless held onto his privilege and exercised his constitutional rights by refusing to answer questions.
I did not want to somehow end up incriminating myself.
Alleged cartel member Vusimuzi Kat Matlala's testimony proceeded before the Madlanga Commission, but he could not be drawn further on outstanding issues through his supplementary affidavit as he continued to invoke his right against self-incrimination. This includes his alleged relationship with Julius Mkhwanazi, the EMPD and the Blue Light saga.
I've been advised to also place on record that I'm a suspect in case involving the EMPD, and I therefore do not wish to answer any question regarding my interaction with the EMPD.
Matlala refused to answer questions on his relationship with Mike van Wyk, which spans from the theme of Medicare 24 to evidence in the form of WhatsApp exchanges that show that the pair's alleged dealings also extended to alleged drug trafficking.
Mike van Wyk, he was my business partner and is a witness in the Medicare matter. I am therefore exercising my constitutional right as an accused not to respond to or answer any questions pertaining to him or our relationship.
You don't want to talk about the nature, extent, frequency of your communications with General Sibia, because if you do, you are at risk of incriminating yourself in some offense, because by their very nature, they would be breaching the law. That's my proposition to you. What's your response?
I cannot argue with you on that.
Okay.
That's how you see it.
The hearings continue. Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Pretoria.
Now, meanwhile, Police Minister Senzo Mchunu has denied allegations that place him at the centre of an alleged plot to throw the KZN top cop Lieutenant General Madlanga Commission under the bus over police shootings in KwaZulu-Natal. Now this after Lieutenant Colonel Dina Govender, who is accused of being commissioned to kill Bevan Loftus, a KZN tow truck businessman, in an alleged 2.5 million rand contract killing commissioned by tow truck rival Clive Nyker. This was under the guise of a legitimate operation. Govender testified that a meeting took place with an alleged political fixer on the 20th of August, where Mchunu was called and he allegedly told Govender to tell the Commission that he gets his instructions from Mkhwanazi. Now, Mchunu said that the allegation is made without any evidence and that he rejects it with the contempt that it deserves. The case against 7 fraud-accused Emfuleni municipality employees arrested over the weekend has been postponed to the 31st of August at the Vanderbijlpark Magistrates Court. They face Schedule 5 charges, including fraud, theft, money laundering and tampering with essential infrastructure for allegedly running an illegal electricity reconnection scheme.
The 7 accused made a brief appearance in the dock before their case was postponed to Monday next week. They were arrested on Friday and Sunday respectively during a takedown operation on an alleged electricity reconnection scheme at the distressed municipality.
Accused are facing, at the moment, Your Worship, 4 counts. One of tampering with essential infrastructure, the second one being that of fraud, the third one being that of theft, and money laundering on the 4th count, Your Worship. But I must indicate that state is considering also adding other accused as well as other charges in this respect.
The Emfuleni municipality has welcomed the arrests, saying all the accused must face the full might of the law.
We welcome this, and we are saying that we are against corruption, we are against fraud, and everybody must account for their actions, because people do that on their own volition, out of their own greed. So therefore they must take our accountability, and this has nothing to do with Emfuleni. And if there are more arrests that will come, we'll obviously welcome them. If there are more charges that will be added, we'll obviously welcome them.
All 7 suspects will remain behind bars for the next 7 days before returning to court on Monday next week to make formal bail applications. Sasha Naidu, SABC News in Vanderbijl Park in the Vaal.
Former Justice Minister Ronald Lamola has defended government's approach to apartheid-era prosecutions. He told the TRC Cases Inquiry that his priority was to strengthen the National Prosecuting Authority and support the implementation of the landmark Rodriguez judgment. Now, under cross-examination by lawyers representing families of apartheid-era victims, Lamola said that upon taking office in May 2019, he was unaware of any position adopted by his predecessor and instead focused on ensuring that prosecutors had the resources and institutional backing needed to pursue long-delayed cases.
I became aware of this judgment just as I came into office. It coincided with my resumption of office, because I think I started in June. And the judgment was also delivered around the same period. So my first task, immediately after I was briefed by the NPA, as I've said, Advocate Makadam and the head of the National Prosecuting Authority, was to support the NPA to be able to prosecute the cases and all that. And that's why I mentioned that the Rodriguez judgment, this matter should be looked in the context of before and after the Rodriguez judgment, particularly the Supreme Court of Appeal judgment. So at this stage, our focus was to support the work of the NPA to prosecute the cases.
When we come back, it's been another deadly weekend in Cape Town with at least 10 people killed in 3 separate incidents. More on this after the break. Welcome back. The Usindiso building fire case has been postponed to the 9th of September to allow the state time to call in a doctor to clarify post-mortem reports. Usindiso Madlanga briefly appeared at the High Court sitting at Palm Ridge on Monday, facing 76 counts of murder for his alleged involvement in starting the August 2023 fire that killed 76 people.
You would recall that the court previously had raised queries relating to a lacuna that it found in the post-mortem examination reports relating to the identification of some of the persons, as well as there being a discrepancy in relation to what the pathologist found at the post-mortem examination as compared to what was contained in the photographic evidence, you remember. And as a result thereof, the court then raised queries in writing and submitted to both the parties this lacuna to be dealt with.
It's been another deadly weekend in Cape Town with at least 10 people killed in separate incidents. In Athlone, 3 men aged between 19 and 36 were shot and killed at a house in Silvertown. In Happy Valley in Emfuleni, the bodies of a woman and 2 men were found in a shack with multiple gunshot wounds. This comes on the back of the murders of 4 men whose torched bodies were discovered on an open field in Dunoon near Milnerton.
of crime ravaging parts of Cape Town continues unabated. Here, in this backyard dwelling in Happy Valley, 3 people succumbed to gun violence, a young woman among them. Residents say the incident happened shortly after midnight.
I think on the people staying on this yard and also neighbors report me, the boyfriend was arrested on Saturday regarding the guns or something was happening, is there arrested, but the girlfriend was calling friends to come and then because scared to sleep alone.
Triple murders and mass killings have become all too common across the Cape Flats in recent months. Many are either linked to gang violence or extortion. In Dunoon, 4 men were attacked and set alight on Sunday afternoon.
Determinations was made based on the crime scene that tires were used to set the victims alight. The circumstances surrounding the crime incident remain unclear and the motive is yet to be determined. A murder docket was opened for investigation by Serious Violent Crime Unit detectives.
The level of violent crime in Cape Town has seen the deployment of soldiers to besieged communities as part of Operation Prosper. Crime fighters, however, say it's imperative that residents and communities work with authorities to temper the violence. Vanessa Puna, SABC News, Cape Town.
The case against the 5 men accused of operating a drug laboratory in Limpopo has been postponed to Friday at the Musina Magistrates Court. The group was arrested last Friday after the discovery of a clandestine crystal meth laboratory at a local farm.
The 5 accused have been charged with possession of illicit drugs, manufacturing them and money laundering. They were arrested at a farm in Musina following an intelligence-driven operation by the Hawks and the SAPS last Friday. The accused include 2 Mexican nationals, Mariano Barraza and John Castillo, and 3 Zimbabwean nationals, Tanaka Royce, Tichaone Roy and Lee Mubai.
The accused are guilty of the offence of manufacturing and supplying of scheduled substances in that on or about the 20th of August 2026 at near plot J19 Kamkusi in the district of Wembe, Musina.
The defense requested a postponement, arguing that it needed to secure the services of an interpreter.
The understanding of English is very, very limited. So there's no chance that they will be able to understand the charges that have been read, and even the proceedings today. For that reason, I have arranged with my learned colleague that the matter be postponed until coming Friday the 28th. For a language-speaking interpreter.
Investigations following the discovery of the drug manufacturing laboratory at a farm are continuing. Katle Khonyoni, SABC News, Musina.
Some Northwest residents have lost trust in politics and what it represents. They blame what they believe are years of collapsing service delivery. The residents expressed mixed feelings about the ANC's 8 mayoral applicants for the Rustenburg local municipality ahead of the much-anticipated local government elections in November.
The inclusion of controversial former Mayor Matthew Volmarans, the incumbent Sheila Huma, and former MECs Wendy Matsimela and Paul Sebegwe on the ANC's preliminary Rustenburg local municipality mayoral shortlist has deeply divided residents.
Either we bring in new ideas, Tabang Rampo label for new ideas, or we bring in someone who has experience, like Volis. So I think those are the better devils that we can work with. Years
of collapsing service delivery and political squabbles in the province's platinum mining hub have shattered the community's trust in politics.
Our town is dirty. There is high unemployment. Everything is a mess. Our town is rotten to the core.
Political analyst from Northwest University, Tabang Motswaledi, says the party faces a tough situation in terms of the final selection in the Rustenburg local municipality, taking into account that 8 applicants made it to the list.
I think after Mangaung Metropolitan, I think the Rustenburg would come second. And this is very important because one would take into cognizance that Rustenburg is not a metropolitan municipality yet. It comes highly contested amongst those top municipalities in that particular sense.
Lebogang Pebe, SABC News, Rustenburg.
The National Freedom Party is warning that the loss of about 200 members to the IFP could further weaken its campaign ahead of the November local government elections. Addressing the media in Durban, NFP provincial chairperson Bali Shinga conceded that the NFP is facing a crisis. The IFP welcomed the former NFP members, including senior party figures, at a gathering over the weekend.
The NFP is facing mounting pressure ahead of the local government elections, with internal divisions now intensified by the loss of senior members to the IFP. For months, the party has been embroiled in disputes over leadership, suspensions, and the removal of elected representatives. Shinga says constitutional disputes, the removal of elected leaders, and the lack of coherent political direction are weakening the party, and the latest defections are further eroding the party's structures at a critical time.
Mr. Mkabela has subsequently left the NFP and is not alone. We have watched prominent leaders, councillors and ordinary members walk away from an organization that desperately needs every credible activist, every functioning structure and every community relationship it can retain ahead of the local government elections.
Shinga's own position has also been at the center of the NFP's leadership disputes. The High Court in Pietermaritzburg recently ordered her temporary reinstatement as an MPL and MEC for social development, pending a full legal review after the NFP moved to remove her. She says the ongoing leadership battle has done little to strengthen the party. Shinga says, despite what she describes as a lack of support from the party's national leadership, she remains committed to the NFP. I'm Madlanga Commission for SABC News in Durban.
When we return, coach Rassie Erasmus says even though the Springboks have their backs against the wall, they will have to fight their way out of it. More on that after the break. Welcome back. While the Springboks have their backs against the wall, coach Rassie Erasmus says they have been in similar situations and now they need to fight their way out of it. Erasmus announced his side to face New Zealand in the second test of rugby's greatest rivalry in Cape Town in Saturday, less than 48 hours after the Boks lost 33-16 to the All Blacks in the first test in Johannesburg.
The first test in rugby's greatest rivalry saw the Springboks' plans unravel as the match wore on. The starters could not convert, and the impact players got thrown into a situation that grew increasingly more hopeless.
We didn't get what we want from the bench because the guys who started didn't convert when we were there, and when we were inside the 22. I mean, we had 11 22-meter entries and we got one reward from it. Now that is good defence by New Zealand.
The Bok coach has vowed to fix things in the few training sessions he has at his disposal.
It's difficult solutions, so it's things that you must sort out quickly in 3 training sessions, and we'll start today. We'll start today.
Peter Steph du Toit retains the captaincy and will win his 100th cap for the Boks, making him just the 11th player to achieve that feat. Oxenchair will earn his 50th Test cap. The Boks certainly have the squad to turn their fortunes around. Simon Burke, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Right, let's quickly check in with the weather desk now. Kumza is ready to tell you everything about tomorrow's forecast.
Good evening and welcome to the weather desk. No rainfall has been forecasted for tonight and tomorrow. Just partly cloudy conditions over the Western Cape and the Eastern Cape. Morning fog patches still observed over the interior from Mpumalanga, KwaZulu-Natal, the Eastern Cape as well as the Western Cape, where visibility may be reduced to less than 1 kilometer. Let's dive straight into those minimum and maximum temperatures for tomorrow, where Johannesburg is at a maximum of 24, slightly warmer in the East Rand as well as Bronkhorstspruit at a maximum of 25. A hot day in places over the western bushveld of the Limpopo province, but warm temperatures across the province, where Bulukwane is at 26, Tzaneen peaking at 27. Cool temperatures there in places along the escarpment areas of Mpumalanga, with Ermelo at 24. A warm day in Mkhondo and Standerton at 26. It is clear skies across most parts of KwaZulu-Natal with a warm day across the province, but it is still cool in places along the south coast, with Port Shepstone at 22, eThekwini reaching a maximum of 24. Those warm temperatures continue across most parts of the Eastern Cape. Partly cloudy conditions with cool temperatures in the east, with Mthatha at 23. Those partly cloudy conditions continue over the southern interior into the adjacent interior, where it is still cool along the south coast between Hermanus and Cape Agulhas at 17. A warm day in the interior with Laingsburg at 25. It will be hot in Vredendal at a maximum of 33. Warm temperatures across most parts of the Northern Cape, but a hot day in places over the Namakwa district, with Calvinia and Uppington will both reach a maximum of 32. Clear skies across the Free State province with warm temperatures, but a cool day in places along the Lesotho border, with Wepener at 24, Vicksburg at a maximum of 25. And then lastly, the Northwest province expecting fairly warm temperatures, where Rustenburg is at 30. A warm day in Mahikeng at 29, but warmer temperatures over the far western areas, with Daung at 30. I'll leave you there with the weather. Good night.
And that's where we end tonight's Prime News on S3. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back with you tomorrow night. From myself, Fortune, and the rest of the team, take care.